like previously, I was talking about about the importance of the squad in a title winning season, and you think about like I saw like a tweet about Liverpool saying the first 11 that won the Champions League, the first time they played or reached the Champions League finals, the first time they played together as a team, all 11 players, was in the finals. And obviously, I know that Matip had a lot of injuries, so that would have played a part. Because if you think about just the other 10, they probably would have played a lot more games together. But obviously, Matip had a lot of injuries, and Joe Gomez was playing in those games. But when you look at how winning seasons in general, even you look at the Man City teams of the past, the United teams of the past, and things like that. There's been a lot of players who weren't in the first 11 who played a lot of games, a significant amount of games off the bench and things like that. So even with us when we won the title as well, we had Ray Parlour playing a lot of games and Edu playing a lot of games as well. But you only think about the first 11. So you have to think when you're chasing a title, the squad is very significant. You can't win a title with just 11 players. You can't win it with just 12, 13, 14 players. You need a big squad. And I'm not saying that you just want to have a bunch of players who can't really have an effect, who's not really going to affect the game, but at least 5 to 7 players on the bench that you know you can rely on. You know what I mean? Not even talking about like the rotation pieces that you're going to use for Europa League or domestic cups or whatever the case may be, but just like for at least 5 to 7 significant players that you can see they're going to come in and actually help you to continue. Because when you get to these tough periods at times, it's going to be the squad players that are going to make a difference. I was looking at some of like, obviously we started the season really well. We had our first 11 and they were playing over and over and over and over again constantly. And we were saying they're going to at least like, there's going to be some physical fatigue that's going to happen here, you know. And how can we continue to play like this consistently with these sort of players without any depth? But then you look at the period where we've had post World Cup, where there's been some shaky things, we've had some injuries, where there's been some dip in forms. You've seen players come in. The first guy who came in was Nketiah, and despite what people think of Nketiah now, obviously since Trossard came in and maybe they prefer Trossard to play over Nketiah, despite all of that, Gabriel Jesus was injured since the World Cup. He hasn't played since pre World Cup. He got injured in the World Cup, and we've played a lot of games since then. You know what I mean? So Nketiah came in, and immediately when he came in, he was helping us straight away. If we didn't have Nketiah, that would have been a big issue. So Nketiah is coming to make a difference. He scored key goals as well since he's been here. He's made a great impact into the team because he's also been able to give us the physical. As I've mentioned before about how Gabriel Jesus offers us both the technical and the physical aspect, while Trossard maybe gives us more of the technical, the movement aspect, whilst Nketiah gives us more of the physical side of it and the goal scoring aspect of it, like in terms of being a presence in the box. Nketiah has been able to replicate some of the stuff that Gabriel Jesus was offering us at the start of the season. So he's impacted our season. If he wasn't there, we wouldn't have been able to continue. We probably would have dropped some points in more games than we have. So that's Nketiah right there, making a difference for us. Another player who made a difference again, as I said, we brought in Jorginho. Even if Jorginho played 2-3 games, 3-4 games, whatever, even if he plays maximum 5 to 6 games this season, he still made a key contribution in the time where we lost Lokonga and we lost El Nini and we had no Partey as well. I mean, we know how Xhaka is in the sixth role. He's not really the best defensively when he plays in that position. So the fact that Jorginho has come in and helped us in this short period of time, despite what I think of him in terms of his overall ability, he's helped us in a short period, and we've won games with him there. He scored a late winner as well against Aston Villa, and he helped us against Everton as well. Obviously, he didn't have a great game, but he's still a presence there in certain games, you know. So he's made his contribution. The goal against us, if we win the league by 1 point or by 2 points or whatever the case may be, Jorginho still scored a crucial goal. He scored a winner that prevented us from dropping 2 points in the last minute, in the extra time. Yes, you see, so it's like he's made a contribution to our season already. Then you look at Trossard, who's made a big contribution, whereby Martinelli has so much freedom when he's playing up front, to the extent where people are saying Trossard is an option up top and he should play ahead of Nketiah, even when Nketiah is back from his I know he's been on the bench, but I know he's had a knock that he's suffering with. But people are saying Trossard should be up top now over him instead. And Trossard has made a significant difference as well. Like you see with his movement into the wide areas, allowing Martinelli more freedom. And also, you look at the Everton game, or look at the Leicester game where he got the assist for Martinelli's goal. And that was the game winning goal. You look at the Everton game where his movement again helped Martinelli to be more central. He got that assist for Odegaard. He played the pass in for who was it as well? He got an assist for Odegaard, but then he played another cross that he played in again. I can't remember what goal that was for, but he got those two contributions they had in that game. But anyways, that's what I'm saying. It's just a contribution that you're seeing with him. Then you got Smith Rowe off the bench. Obviously, he's barely done anything this season, but he came off the bench. He came on the bench. Obviously, went back off again, but he got the header that led to Partey's header that led to the assist. Again, that's another goal that helped us in making a comeback to winning that game as well. So you have to think about title winning seasons. It's not just about your first 11. It's about the squad as well, and you have to think about the squad, and it's also something that we need to think about going forward as well. Because when you think about what's it called, like even say we win the title this season and you go into next season, we need to think about, okay, the squad players have helped us this season. Going into next season, are these players going to be able to help us? And how can we improve these players? And even how can we improve our first 11 and move some of these first 11 players into the squad role, whereby our bench then becomes even stronger? You know, can you imagine having someone like Martinelli coming off the bench? You know, having someone like Xhaka being a rotation option, someone who you know you can rely on, and he's a rotational option. Having Smith Rowe fit, having Fabio Vieira fit to play consistently, having Nelson fit to play consistently, having Nketiah off the bench. You know, just stuff like that. Balogun coming back. You know, so it's just all about improving the depth of the squad to ensure that, because we're going into next season where we're going to be taking the Champions League serious. It's not going to be Europa League where we're going to be resting players. It will be the Champions League where we're actually taking it serious and bringing in our and having to play our first 11 in those games. So we're going to need the squad even more. And I've said it already, when you're in these tight positions, never forget, for us, Arsenal, if we win the league this season, don't forget this period since from Everton up until Bournemouth. Don't forget this period, because it's all good when you're dominating and you're winning the title and you're playing games and you're winning games after games after games. When you get into that rough patch, remember the players that made a crucial that made a significant and a crucial impact in that period of games. Guys like Jorginho who came in, guys like Trossard, Smith Rowe played this part. Nelson played a significant part as well. You know, Nketiah's played a part since post World Cup. Don't forget these things when people try to like, it's all good, like you say, oh, we don't need to have this, because a lot of people get really excited when you win something, or you're playing really well, and they're not, and they feel like you wanting to add another player or whatever, it just means you just want signings. No, you have to think about the rough patch. It wasn't smooth. The whole season hasn't been smooth. You know, and you had a rough patch, and we've had to have players who've had to come in and make a significant impact. And that's the reason why you can't, when you're on the top, you continue to improve. You continue to improve the squad, you continue to improve the depth. If you improve the first 11, you therefore improve the depth, because then you move players from the first 11 into the squad, and therefore your bench becomes even stronger. So we have to remember this period, and also when we win the title, remember to give these players the praise as well. All the likes of Nelson, the likes of Jorginho, the likes of Trossard, Smith Rowe, all these guys in Nketiah, give them their credit as well, because when the first 11s were dipping in form, these lot came into the team and made a difference. It doesn't matter if they made a difference in just one game or two games. They made a difference, because you can win the title by just 2 points. You can win the title by just 1 point. And all of these points are very important. So yeah, man, that's me with that aspect. That's me done with that topic anyways. Yeah. But even another thing I wanted to go over again is I did say the last 9 games of the season were very important, because they're going to be very, very difficult. And I feel like we need to be using this parts of the season. You know, like where next we're playing Fulham, then we've got Palace, we've got Leeds. These are the games that we need to be using to get back into our form, get back into our groove. Because in those last 9 games, we can't, because look, against Bournemouth, against Aston Villa, you know, against all these games, Brentford, we're having to fight and fight and fight. Leicester, we're having to fight in all these games, expending so much emotional and physical energy in these games. We can't keep on doing this over and over and over again. It gets tiring. You can't keep on doing it. Yes, it's great when you get a last minute goal and all these things like that, but it's tiring even for the players mentally, to keep on doing this over and over, to keep coming back, to keep on having to hold on to a lead and all these sort of things. We need to start being able to win these games smoothly and get these games over and done with already. And I feel like we need to use this next 3 games to get back into our group, because these are, on paper, these are winnable games. We need to use these games to get back on track, and then then we have to start facing the likes of Liverpool, the likes of City, the likes of Chelsea, Newcastle, Brighton, and the very very difficult games on paper. Anyways, we need to be back in our group, because if we play like this against those teams, we may not get the maximum point. We may not get the points we need.